Dạ vâng, thân ái chào các bạn. Mình về nhà xong rồi mình phải chạy lên lại. Tại vì giống như mình nói đó là mình hồi nãy đã đưa giấy, đưa cái đơn kiện cho cô thư ký tòa trước mặt mọi người, nhưng mà mình không có chính thức nói với Nam Quan đó là đơn kiện và không có chính thức dùng những cái từ ngữ pháp lý. Thành ra bây giờ mình sẽ trở lại để lên phát biểu, và trong lúc phát biểu thì sẽ chính thức dùng cái từ pháp lý để nói là Nam Quan we've been served.
So then, if I'm going to do, so usually what I think as a business person, you would want to put in some parameters and say, I expect my return on investment in the tune of 4 to 5 times what I put out. So if it's going to be 108,000 times 4 would be 430. So roughly $500,000 in grant writing a year. So if you told me, let's say you did for Stanton, and your contract has been since 2017, and so 17 until now is what, 6 years? And you did 2.5, so you gotta have some kind of parameter to go by before you say, okay, these people are working for you or they're not. Because that to me is what I'm gonna look at when I say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna continue this contract or I'm not. But the first people we look at when something goes wrong is us, how we write up the contract. And that's just where at the very beginning of the contract, you can put in these parameters, because if you don't, I'm not saying your company, but I'm just speaking in general, people are not gonna work. And we are gonna, we can't sweep and we're busy, and this is the reason why we hire an expert. And I really, truly don't believe that staff has the expertise. It's gonna be rare. Like I know, Adolfo, you have the expertise writing grants, but not everybody does. And so I think it's gonna be, you'll have to also calculate the time lost, the opportunities lost when somebody writes a grant but does not get the grant for us, whether it be the staff but someone who's an expert. I won't worry about the lack of expertise, but I would worry about, do you have time for us? And I want to be the squeaky wheel, but I'm not going to squeak. I think it's just wrong, but I think it's got to be in the contract at the very beginning. Because I know, I heard you say earlier, you said you don't have a guarantee, but we are guaranteeing you 108,000 a year. So I think the parameter has to be 4 to 5 times, and that's what business people do. They got to look at that.
I agree with Corey that as somebody who's brought
I know that.
Somebody who's been a part of close to $65 million worth of money that's come into the city. I can't guarantee that I'm going to get it on an odd year and even year. I can get a windfall one year, and we've gotten $12 million one year, and we've been dry for 3. Some of it is because we need matching funds to be able to go after the next one, and our finances have kept us from doing that. So, and then there's the apples to apples comparison. Stanton is a tiny place. We are a much bigger place with a lot more master plan vision of what projects can be. So I'm very confident that we will be able to bring in grant money the way that we have. And now we're going to have an advocacy expert that can help us knock on more doors and then utilize the knowledge that they have in other cities. So if they work for another city and I was a consultant, so I lived this. You work on a project that goes a little bit sideways in one city, you learn from it, and you correct it for the next city, right? So a lot of that goes into what I feel is a guarantee that they're going to bring in good quality work. The other part of it is the contact with council. They will be able to meet with council, and we'll work. Maybe you can talk about how often you would propose that. But in addition to that, there's access to us as staff on a regular basis. Because when I worked with Townsend on the 405, I mean, all hours of the day we were talking about the city of Westminster's needs for water lines on bridges, right? And it was nonstop. It was never a busy signal on the other end. So this is based on, those are the guarantees. Now the other thing that I will say is, I've known Corey for 20 years, and a consulting firm is only as good as its staff. It's not the name. The name of the consulting firm can be there forever, but if staff leaves, that consulting firm is no longer going to give you what they say they're going to give you. So the fact that they have continuity of staff, I've seen in their firm for a good solid 20 years, I'm comfortable that they are going to be responsive to us. We meet monthly with them, and we hold them accountable. That's as much as I can say.
Yeah, when I talk about 4 or 5 times, I'm not talking about like, okay, this year you're gonna have to bring in, but I think what you look at would be more like over time. Like, you know, let's say 2 to 3 years, you might have a dry season, you might have a windfall, another season, etc. But you will, if you track, you will see.
Absolutely.
And I know it takes time to get these grants. So I do believe that you have a good company and that you've chosen, you know, a very reputable company and very well qualified. The only part that I don't hear is how you, or should I say, the only part that I recommend that you pay attention to would be how to, you know, track their performance, how to make sure they continue to perform. And that's all.
And Vice Mayor, if it helps, I find that, you know, 37 years of experience in government now over, you run into familiar faces, and usually the familiar faces are companies and individuals that are successful because they keep coming to different cities. When I was chief at a North Orange County city, I actually had the pleasure of working in Townsend. Hello, Corey, I haven't seen you in a while. And they secured our region over $5 million over 4 years. Might have been $5 million even over 4 years. We were very happy with our performance working with Townsend. So I guess I would be a reference.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm just saying, I'm speaking in general. I'm pretty sure, as a matter of fact, from what I hear, you are very reputable and well qualified. The only thing that I have is that I have a prior, because when I first came on board, we were using a certain company. And then the comment when we got rid of that company, or we ended our relationship, was because of lack of performance. So are there some parameters before you see what I'm saying is like, I do believe the lack of performance is not due to their inability to perform, but it's our inability to convey our expectations. And then once we do that, I think people will live up to our expectation, and we don't have to get rid of good people or good companies.
So I can speak on that. So, you know, I've been here for 19 years, and it's, you know, as you go along with your career here, at one point you're a staff member, you participate with a consultant, and then other times you're given the authority to manage a consultant. So the company that you mentioned, I fired them within about a month of interacting with them, after being the point of contact, because I was not happy with the performance that they were providing to the city.
But they were on board for 5 years.
They were on board for quite some time.
For a long time, yeah.
And I had my issues with it for quite some time, but when I was put in a position of authority to oversee that contract, they didn't last very long. For the same, the level of standard that you're describing is the same level of standard that we have for consultants.
Yes, because I've been on at the council that long, I think I do remember that since the leadership, you know, and I think, like I said, if we just let something ride, then it's gonna ride. And you know, if someone doesn't perform, or a good company does not perform, we have to look internally. Like, we probably didn't want, or maybe we turn a blind eye, and we are not monitoring their performance. But I'm not saying that they're not qualified to do the job. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much.
Mayor, if I may just quickly add to that.
Yes.
You know, I do understand all the concerns. Obviously, this is an investment, and I you know, just Councilmember Nguyen said it best, that it does take money to make money, and this is one of those ways that we're trying to invest into, you know, our future. The first point of commitment, you know, obviously that we want to. You know, we want to just acknowledge out there is, as soon as Townsend, if council approves the contract, we will be having a study session so that this council, you will be the starting point of creating those priorities, creating those parameters, talking about, providing to them the feedback, all the concerns that you have right now, and how you want to track their performance, etc. So it's really going to start with this council and working together with them to identify how you want to move forward. And so, all valid concerns, but I'm confident that with the makeup of this council and with the leadership team that we currently have, that we will be holding the contractor accountable in a way that our previous vendors that have worked with us or previous consultants were not held accountable. And so that's the commitment that I will make for this to this council on behalf of the organization for moving forward with this.
Thank you.
I guess it's my time now. I want to thank council member for all the questions. They're all valid questions, and I think it's all valid concerns. But with the presentation from Townsend Public Affairs and also the confidence in our staff, I don't see any problem with that, and I have high confidence of they are doing the best for our city with their expertise, and they already represent the city in our county, and they also understand the situation that we are in and understand the city of Westminster. So I don't doubt that they are doing the best that they can for us. So with that, I move to approve this item.
Mayor, can I make a suggestion, and maybe you would agree?
You can always yes.
Yes, I agree with you as far as the approval, but can we add on your motion to maybe have you come back at a 6-month mark and give us an update of the progress of what you have done, so we can get a full understanding if we're on the right path? All right.
I believe that our city assistant manager already mentioned that.
Yeah, but I want to make sure.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, so that was your motion. I was second.
Yes. If there's no, yes, please.
Yeah, I still have a question. I mean, he's supposed to answer my question.
You did have a question, and didn't have it immediately available. So as the conversation was going on, I did find it. So I will start by, your question was, what is the second lowest quote? The next low, the lowest quote.
That can do both.
And so I just want to remind everybody that this is not a bid where we disclose all of the information. It is a qualification-based selection process. So we selected the most qualified. If we were asked to pick somebody other than Townsend on this round of 3, staff would have no recommendation. We would not recommend the other 2 for hiring. Your specific question though was, what is the lowest quote? And the lowest quote was $1,000 per month less than Townsend. That was your question.
So I guess with that being said, that you cannot disclose their name, I guess what I'm asking then would be, what were the other closest one? Why weren't they qualified? What was the thing that set Townsend different from them?
So I'm glad that we're not talking about names, right? Because everybody puts a lot of effort into marketing themselves. The last thing we want to do is to speak negatively about a professional firm.
Right.
When we looked at the firm, the other firm, they were actually the number 3, but they were the least expensive. So you're asking about the least expensive quote we got. When you looked at that firm, they were comprised of 2 different companies. They were comprised of an advocacy company and a grants company. And they proposed as a union. During the interview process, they were speaking over each other. There was no cohesiveness between them. It was almost like they didn't really know each other. Essentially, it's 2 separate companies partnering to respond to this article. So to me, that is a huge alarm. You can have sub-consultants that come in, and sometimes they'll do really well. They've worked on many projects together, and you see that they perform well during the interview, and you recommend them. But in this particular case, the 4 of us that were the evaluators had the exact same response, which is, this is not somebody we want to work with. They looked uncoordinated. They looked unorganized. It was not pleasant. Yeah, that interaction was not pleasant.
To add to that, Councilwoman, we also went with Townsend as well because of their, they have several locations, and so that made them much more accessible and readily available to be present, you know, and within the state, but also up in Sacramento and in DC. So they that was a benefit that we saw that also helped rank them higher as well.
So from what you're saying, you guys do have office in DC, is that correct? People who are
Correct. We
lobbying
have a full-time
out
office in Washington, D.C. My colleagues Ben and Sammy are actually full-time in our D.C. office. We also have a full-time office in Sacramento as well as in Orange County. We have 17 registered state and federal lobbyists and grant writers across those 3 offices in the firm, and we all work together as a team to service our clients.
Okay, and I noticed too with, you know, the chief, he's been at different cities and he noticed that he recommended you guys for your services and your work. Now, it means that you have work at different cities. Is that the normal pricing for what you guys do? Because I have been told at a couple different cities that the price is a little lesser. Is that correct?
We have a range of contracts, and some of that comes through the scope of services that's being provided. So for some cities, we only provide federal advocacy. For some cities, we only provide state advocacy. For some cities, we only provide grant writing, or there are combinations of 2 or 3 of those scopes. We also look at the size of the city. Some of our cities that we've had for 20 years, they may have a different fee structure because they kind of were grandfathered in 20 years ago. So there is variance, but the $9,000 a month full scope, all 3 scope contract is very consistent with what cities of your size are paying up and down the state for those services.
Okay, so are there any local cities that you do both, state and federal at this time?
Yes.
Locally in Orange County?
Yes.
Can you name a couple cities?
City of Buena Park, we provide state and federal advocacy and grant writing services. City of Brea, we provide all 3 services. City of Placentia, we provide all 3 services. City of Costa Mesa, we provide all 3 services. City of Tustin, we provide all 3 services. I can keep going.
That's perfect, that's good. Thank you so much, I appreciate that.
The list is pretty long.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
We have a motion and second on the floor.
Yeah, one other comment, you mentioned about the relationship that you have with, like you said, the name on the company, but it's about the staff.
It's about the staff.
Okay, my question is, are you retiring?
I have a 3-year-old and a 15-month-old.
Okay, so
You know, my last question. So, just wanted to confirm. So, you said that if they're not performing, then we can cancel within a month. Are there any penalty with that cancellation? Not at all,
There
right?
are no penalties.
But I believe that you guys will get the job done. So, thank you.
Good questions, thank you.
Okay, I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, a second made by Councilmember Monzo. This is to approve staff recommendation to approve the agreement with Townsend Public Affairs Incorporation to provide legislative advocacy for a term of 5 years in an amount not to exceed $9,000 monthly, and approve a budget adjustment to the city manager contractual services account in an amount of $54,000 for the remaining fiscal year, and not to exceed $108,000 annually for each year of the agreement thereafter. In addition, there was an amendment to that motion to add that staff will come back at the 6-month mark to provide council with an update. I'll go ahead and call roll. Councilwoman Van West?
Yes.
Councilmember Monzo?
Yeah, just one quick comment. I just want to make sure that the public understands where I'm coming from. You know, originally when I first saw this, you know, my initial reaction, my quick reaction was no, because we're not in a good financial position to take this on, to take on this, spend this kind of monies out there. But when as you spoke earlier, when I saw what we're currently paying, and then you add the staff time, to me, it's actually in the long run, it's probably going to either wash, or it's going to benefit us because as we know, in every single department, and every single department we're short-handed. So that's going to free up our staff to do work on other projects. So I just want to, sometimes there's some confusion out there, or some misunderstanding that why you vote this way, why what are you doing, So I just want to make sure that the community understands that this is a benefit to the community. So my vote is yes.
Councilmember Nguyen,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho,
Yes.
and Mayor Wynne.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
5.8, adoption of resolutions approving negotiated memorandums of understanding MOUs with Westminster Police Officers Association and the Westminster Municipal Employees Association, and compensation plans for unrepresented groups, management, administrative, and confidential employees and executive employees. I don't know if there is a staff report or do we need one?
We're obligated to provide one, so my HR director, Jody Greiner, has been working extra hard on this. We'll present a very brief report.
Try to make it brief. Morning, I'm sorry, good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the public. My name is Jody Greiner, and I am the Human Resource and Risk Management Director. I am pleased to be here tonight presenting on the topic of the Memorandum of Understanding and resolutions between the City of Westminster and our employee groups. The current labor agreements expired on June 30th, 2023. City representatives started discussions with labor groups approximately 10 months ago and have recently completed the process with agreed upon terms. Just as a reminder, we have 4 labor groups. It is the WPOA, which is the Westminster Police Officer Association, WMEA, which is the Westminster Municipal Employees Association, Management, Administration, and Confidential Employee Group, and Executive Employee Group. So during the discussions, we kept one primary goal in mind, which was to attract and retain talent, which is a goal of the strategic plan. We also spent countless hours discussing what was important to both the labor groups and the city. Ultimately, keeping these goals in mind, we came to the following terms. So the term of this new contract will be July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2026. And I'd like to point out that there was a mistake in the staff report, and we accidentally put through June of 2023, so that should be 26. So as far as economic terms, we agreed to a salary increase of 3% in January, 3% in July of 24, and then 3% in July of 25. We also are suggesting the additional holidays of the Martin Luther King holiday, Veterans Day, and currently we get Christmas Eve for half a day. That would be a whole day. And then an increase of $200 to the family medical plan. The rates went up anywhere between 13 and 19%, and so we would contribute an extra $200, raising it from $1,800 to $2,000. And then a $300 monthly vehicle stipend allowance to executive employees. Additionally, we focused on some non-economic terms. This is an opportunity where we were able to update certain parameters in the MOUs that may be unclear or need updating. So a few of those items were a reduction in the number of languages on bilingual skill pay. We added stiffer parameters to the commander take-home cars. We added more defined parameters for accruals while employees are on leave, and we updated terms per state and federal regulations, such as bereavement leave. The fiscal impact will cost $1.15 million annually for all groups. A budget adjustment to salaries and benefits in the amount of $575,000 will be necessary for the remainder of 23-24, and that is broken down as follows. General fund, $469,000. Special revenue funds, $21,000. Internal service funds, $27,000. Water funds, $58,000. So that concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Just open up for questions. Starting with Councilmember West,
You can come back to me, that'd be great.
Councilmember Mesa.
No, I think we've discussed this pretty extensively. I understand that we're pretty low, but I wish we could do better, but this is what we got, so thank you.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe that we went through this at least like twice. And this is the result that I expect to come back to us, and I'm okay with it. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Ho.
Well, I am very glad that we were able to do what we can do for all of our employees. I wish we could do more. Thank you. Thank you for your report.
I move to approve the item 5.8 as the staff recommended.
A second?
Can I make a statement, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Next time, I will go very last. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, I think with the council approval and negotiation, I think we are very generous regarding the condition we're in. And I'm happy that the unions from all three groups decided to agree upon that. And this is amazing. We are here to support our, law enforcement, firefighter, and our public works. And so we appreciate that you guys see that, and thank you. So.
Sincerely apologize for that. I don't mean
No problem, Mr. Mayor.
All right, so we have motion and second on the floor.
I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen and a second made by Vice Mayor Ho. This is to adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Westminster, California, amending Resolution Number 5214, amending the Memorandum of Understanding and Salary Schedules Exhibit A, B, and C for the Westminster Police Officers Association for the period of July 1, 2023 through and including June 30th, 2026, and adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Westminster, California, amending Resolution Number 5187, amending the Compensation Plan and Salary Schedules, Exhibit A, B, and C for the Westminster Municipal Employee Association for the period of July 1, 2023 through and including June 30, 2026, and adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Westminster, California, amending Resolution Number 5215, amending the Compensation Plan and Salary Schedules, Exhibits A, B, and C for the management, administrative, and confidential employees for the period of July 1, 2023 through and including June 30, 2026. And adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Westminster, California, amending Resolution Number 5216, amending the Compensation Plan and Salary Schedules, Exhibits A, B, and C for the executive employees for the period of July 1, 2023 through and including June 30, 2026. And approve the updated salary schedules for Westminster Police Officers Association, Westminster Municipal Employee Association, Management, Administrative, and Confidential Employee Group, and Executive Employee Group. And authorize a budget adjustment in the amount of $575,000 to implement all compensation plans for the remainder of fiscal year 2023-2024. I'll go ahead and call roll. Councilwoman Van West.
Yes.
Councilmember Monzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho.
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The time is now 10:04, and I move to extend the regular meeting hours.
A second?
Well, we just have a few, so we will finish it. So we have a motion and a second on the floor.
I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, a second made by Vice Mayor Ho. This is to extend the meeting past 10 p.m. for policy. We'll go to call roll. Councilwoman Van West.
Yes.
Councilmember Monzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho.
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
6.1, consider introduction and first reading of an ordinance amending chapter 1.28.010, posting places for public notices of Westminster Municipal Code. Any update on this?
A motion to approve.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay. We have motion second on the floor.
I I have a motion made by Councilmember Monzo, a second made by Councilwoman Fan West. That is to go ahead and introduce an ordinance for the first reading entitled an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Westminster, California, amending Chapter 1.28.010, posting places for public notices of Title I General Provisions of the Westminster Municipal Code to update posting locations read by title only and waive further reading. I'll go ahead and call roll. Councilwoman Fan West?
Yes.
Councilmember Monzo?
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho?
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Next item is 7.1, appointment to Parks and Recreation Commission for 2022 to 2024, and this item is applicable to Councilwoman Fan West, appointee. Please.
Thank you. So I want to appoint Ken Abel to the Park and Recreation today. Thank you. And I'll give you his email and phone number.
I second it.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Fan West, a second made by Mayor Nguyen. This is to appoint Kenneth Abel as Amy Fan West's appointee to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a term ending December 2024, waiving other applicable requirements. I'll go ahead and call roll. Councilwoman Fan West?
Yes.
Councilmember Monzo?
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho?
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
5-0, motion carried.
Next item is 7.2, appointment to the Measure Y Citizens Oversight Committee. So with this, I would like to go ahead and start with Councilmember West first for your appointee.
Yes, I want to nominate a police officer, Robert Furman, and he'll be a good asset for this committee.
Okay, we will vote as a slate, so I would like to go with, next is Councilmember Manzo.
Diana Lee Carey.
Okay, Councilmember Nguyen.
I still working on my selection. Okay.
Okay, Vice Mayor Ho.
My choice is Tuan Le.
You took my choice. So with that, I will schedule mine until next time. So we have 3 recommendations, and I move to approve.
I'll second, but I have a question for staff. When is the first meeting that this committee needs to have?
As soon as we get a quorum and work out a schedule.
Don't we have a requirement for the was it yearly?
Just, yes. So we have them.
Yeah, it sounds like we have 3, so
We
we
have-
could be.
Well, yeah, so we'll work with them obviously after the holiday schedule and get their availability based on who you appointed. As long as we can have 3 of them show up.
All right.
Yeah, I apologize. I was looking at that, and I think there's a qualification, and for those, I have to look at it again, and we'll make a decision at the next meeting. With that, we move to 7.3. I believe that's the urgent.
Yeah, we still need to vote on this
we did?
item.
We have not? Okay.
So I do have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, and the second was made by,
Oh, I second
okay, by Councilmember Monzo. So we do have 2 appointments. One is for Robert Furman for Councilman Fan West, and then we have Diana Lee Carey for Councilmember Monzo, and then Antoine Lee for Vice Mayor Ho. We'll go ahead and bring this item back to you in the first meeting of January for Councilmember Nguyen's and Mayor Nguyen's appointees. All right, I'll go ahead and call roll. Councilwoman Fan West?
Yes.
Councilmember Monzo?
it. Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho?
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving to 7.3, this is an urgent item requested by Councilmember West, and Council approved to bring it to agenda today. So that was can you repeat that item?
Yes.
The appointment.
The 7.3 is the appointment to the Westminster Community Foundation. This will be for Councilman Van West's appointee for a term ending January 2025.
Right, move to approve.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I moved to approve before you actually appointed, so it's good.
Should I start?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, so basically, you know, I would say that it is very important, since I found out the replacement of my board member due to moving to another city and the obligation she has this moving forward with different engagement. As I know, the TED Parade is coming very soon, like I mentioned earlier, in 2 months. And it is very crucial for us to nominate someone who can help with fundraising and the gala as well. So I nominate James Mai. He is a business owner and he has tons of connection, and also he has his own nonprofit organization, which he understands the concept of running a nonprofit. So that will be a great contribution to our Westminster Community Foundation. So I move forward to nominate James Mai, and I'll give you his contact and email after this. I motion to move forward to approve.
Okay, and we have a motion, we have a second.
That was you.
Okay.
I have a motion made by
I have a motion before you, okay? So,
Thank you.
I have a motion made by Councilman Van West, a second made by Mayor Wynn. This is to make the appointment for James Mai, and this is for a term ending January 2025 onto the Westminster Community Foundation. I'll go ahead and call roll. Councilman Van West?
Yes.
Councilmember Monzo?
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen? Councilmember
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hope?
Yes.
And Mayor Wynn.
yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
At this time, I would like to open up for oral communications for non-agenda items. So, let me see, Madam, would you please go ahead and read the instruction into the record?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the City Council regarding any non-agenda items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction. Unless otherwise extended by a majority vote of the City Council, comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Any person wishing to address the City Council in person should complete a yellow speaker slip that is provided at the entrance to the Council chambers and submit the card to the City Clerk. When your name is called, please step to the podium at that time and state your name and city of residence for the record. Our first speaker is Carrie Raines.
Hello, thank you staff for hosting such great holiday events for our residents. Thank you Mayor Wynn for meeting with me last month. I hope to see progress on the matters we discussed. Amy Plan West, Councilwoman Garden Grove, or City of Little Saigon, aka Narcissistic Twat Waffle, who doesn't know what city you represent. Your flagrant Brown Act violation on November 8th that the Vice Mayor and City Attorney refused to stop twice was devoid of fact. The 2-part diatribe about me was not a response to my public comments. It was a planned personal attack that some might deem to be slanderous defamation of a resident by elected officials, saying I am stealing and bullying residents. I never uttered the word lawsuit like you claimed either. The logo case you spewed on about was the 3rd investigation of you violating the city's logo ordinance. The first 2 cases, you were found to be in violation because you were using the unmodified city logo for your unauthorized personal use. I have copies of the 2 letters that were sent certified mail to you from our police department to prove it. Your response was to modify it and slightly, and since the city hadn't trademarked the logo, likeness did not apply and charges were not ultimately filed. But the city attorney chose not to investigate the matter, so the outside attorney expenses on him. But Christian, on May 1st, wrote in an email, quote, on its face, the logo that was used is not an exact replica of what the code says is the logo because the words in the outer circle are completely different. That being said, it does appear to be substantially the same as the city logo. The entire middle portion of the logo appears to be the same as the city logo, including this use of the same size and colors from what I can tell. So on that basis, this person seems to be using or modifying the city logo in some way. If anyone else were to do something similar, it would be proper to notify that person that their use of the logo is not allowed out of concern that it may give people the impression the user's actions or statements represent the official action of the city. So the same reasoning would apply that may be applied here. Unless the use of this particular case was authorized by the clerk, the city manager, or by the council as set forth in the code, it would be proper to notify the individual that their use of the logo is not allowed under our code. Mic drop, Christian. Nam Quan sent an email to everyone alleging our police department didn't do their job during Amy's tirade. Wow, it was Nam Quan as chair who didn't do his job to handle the situation by cutting her off immediately. Charlie, I want to believe you would have acted much sooner. Several of you replied all to that email, a potential Brown Act violation. Some might deem Nam Quan's email to be libelous defamation. I did not approach the guys in an aggressive way. I had no weapons and was not a threat to anyone's safety. I stood in space open to the public, trying to get Christian's attention to step in and stop Amy from incriminating herself any further because Nam Quan wasn't going to do it. The chief, city manager, and Councilman Manzo all responded with similar accounts. Some might deem Amy's response to be libelous too, and quit smirking at me. I did not breach anyone's personal space or dash towards the council. Nam Quan, your refusal to attend 2 special meetings and vote to place the tax measure on the ballot was chicken shit, and see as your first step toward defunding our police department. You need to go.
Well, I do have a brief comment about it. I love your size. I don't understand. Well, for the 5 years that I'm here on the IS, I have missed 2 meetings. Talking about all the meetings that I missed only 2, and now I am being criticized for it. I love it. So, that's all right. Next,
Good job, Mr. Mayor. I have a statement, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for making that statement. So I want to put on record, number 1, you said I used the logo and I changed it. No, it's been the same since I got elected. And the same logo was used as Supervisor Andrew Doe. It's the same. The way how he did it is legal. The way I did it is legal. You have criticized twice to the city attorney and the chief of police twice. The third one, we have to hire a private attorney, and it's on the taxpayers' money. So stop spewing lies. So let me say it again. The logos is the same logo I have since I was elected. Thank you so much. Nothing was wrong.
Is she allowed to speak back?
Please, this is time for the council to speak, so please. It's your
Is she allowed though?
We listen to you, so now you listen to us.
This is oral communication.
Please don't speak until you're acknowledged to come up here and speak at the podium. It's not your turn to yell from the audience.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Our next speaker is Michael Garcia. I don't see him still here. Roger Nithram, I don't see him still here. And on Keith, I don't see still here. So we're going to go with Jason Jones.
Okay, I'm here for last time meeting we had at the City Planning Council meeting, Planning Commission, but there are 4 issues that I want to call. Is the homelessness, finding a shelter, and also cleaning the street and picking up the trash. So I saw a lot of homeless people asking for money, and I feel for them. So I talked with you and I asked what happened to them and why they want to be. So they all tell me, I need a bride, so I help them. The point is that they don't want to go into shelter, so then I give them the information of where to go for the shelter. And then I told them, let's follow up and then see what's going on. I think a lot of these people have mental health issues, so they don't know what to do. They may be on drugs, they may have addiction, but we have to do something about it. So I'm proposing that we should open a facility where they can go in and every day, if they want to go work, they can work 2 hours on the minimum wage, and they have a money to spend. Instead of spending and asking for money. So we have to find a place for them to stay. And then also about the street, we should keep all the street clean, because a lot of homeless people go to the city and it's spread everywhere now. There's so much trash more than before. Ever since 2016, Trump became president, I noticed that a lot more homelessness people, a lot of old people, and they have trash everywhere, and they don't have a place to stay. And then every time since they're staying at that location, and they leave the trash back, so we had to clean it. So I proposed that, bring these people to have a program where they can go and pick up the trash. And then also, lastly, we should clean the street more regularly, once a week. Every week we should have cleaned them. So we have the car sweeping come out there and clean the street very clearly, and then cleanly, and then have all the vehicles kind of move away. So that's, and final thing is about the AI. AI causes a lot of mental health, causes people to have a lot of emotional problems. And I think they use facial recognition equipment to hurt us a lot. So that's something people have to worry. And then that's why a lot of people say they have schizophrenia. So they don't know how much it hurt you. And that's been ongoing for a while. Nobody talks about it. And they're talking about all these chips that they built. These are very dangerous software algorithm that we need to look into it. Thanks for your time.
Our next speaker is Chidel.
Can I address this point, Mr. Mayor? So, Jason, I'm happy that you are concerned about the homeless and getting them shelter and cleaning the streets. We, Councilman Nam Quan and myself, we're on the ad hoc committee for the homeless committee. And I know that Chief and his team has done a phenomenal job taking care of the homeless. And as you drive around, you notice there's less on the 22 where Golden West is. We barely see them around there. And plus, with the state of California, the law, it makes it really hard for our law enforcement to book them, right? And to send them into a shelter. Right now, we're working with the county to make sure we have those beds for them. So I know our law enforcement is working on that, okay? And if you have any concern, you do street sweeping, is that correct, City Manager, twice a month? And, maybe what they can do is to make sure those street sweeper empty out before they continue their next round. That's something that
I just want to remind Council that brief comment is welcome. And if there is, if we want to go deeply into that, then we can always, agendize the item for the next meeting. I will discuss that way. We have more time to discuss about the items. Next.
Yeah, before I speak, I'd like to ask the city attorney again. Aren't you guys supposed to go to some kind of training to tell you guys that at our communication session, you're supposed to sit there and listen? Am I supposed to go back and you scolding at me? Talk down to me after I'm done? You guys have your time, okay? I sit there 3-4 hours, listen to you guys discussing. So this is our communication, so listen. I'll take my words back. I was gonna congratulate you on a nice meeting. We haven't had any decent meeting for a long time. I was gonna congratulate you guys until what happened. Well, then I'll read what I just wrote. Congratulations, Vice Mayor Kimberly Hall, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for doing the right thing. It's very big of you to vote for someone who's supposed to be your opponent instead of supporting your associate. And that's what we hope you continue to do. And vote your conscience. Nam Quan, it was wise for you to offer to step down and nominate Amy to replace you. At least I have to give you that. But I hope you'll take my warning seriously to resign from the council, to tone down your rhetoric on social media, stop your lies, and stop scamming people. I bid you and everyone present here on the dais, in the chamber, at home, or anywhere watching this, happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, prosperous New Year, and a happy, satisfying life. But after the holidays, if you still don't heed my warning, still continuing to behave the way you do, deceiving people the way you have been doing, then I have to do what I have to do, what I need to do, stop you from that, and make you responsible for what you have done. And you've been served. I gave the lawsuit paper to the city clerk. Thank you.
Our next speaker is
No, I do have a quick response. We are here to do the city business. We're not here to ask for your praise or congratulate or anything. We do what is right for the city. So we'll continue to do that. And we are not going to take any, my parents are never yell at me, but here I am, I understand from a public standpoint, but I'm not going to take it. So next.
I agree with the mayor. We're going to continue to do the job and serve the community. That's what we do, and elected by the people. And that's what we're going to do as and continue to do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Our next speaker is Pam Berman.
Hello again. I just wanted to bring up, and this would probably be for you, Amy, the District 1 with just, we're really starting to look really trashy over there. There's just a lot of garbage and we're getting a lot of crime. We have homeless people living behind the 76 station there. We've had two tragic, things that have happened. One, I think it was last year when somebody was stabbed at the 76 station, then at the Motel 6, and, I don't know, maybe he came from Motel 6, but the last thing we just had with the shooting, I've bought the house where I live probably in 1993 or 94, and it's been a wonderful area. It is so run down now with Walgreens being out of business it's just a dilapidated building just sitting there with a fence around it to keep the homeless out. I don't know if they've sold it yet or if it's just sitting there. Big Lots has been out for about a year. We really need some help over there. It's just been horrible. And it's getting worse, and it's getting just so much garbage in the parking lots. And we're now probably the one that has the most crime out of all the districts now. So I don't know if you guys have any suggestions or just kind of have somebody look into it. Our police department's been amazing. When we have problems, they're out there within the hour. So it's been very helpful. But I just, I don't like the motels, for one. The motels are horrible. They're bringing in a lot of bad people. I mean, families, I know they do need a place to live because they're homeless, and I mean, they can afford that. You can't afford rent anymore for these families. So I understand that, but the trash has got to go. The people that are causing the problems and they're criminals and they're pedophiles, they need to go. And I don't know how we can even solve that other than taking down these motels. But yeah, we're losing a lot of our businesses. I mean, we've have, the Yakitori that was right there on Edwards, they just left, and Cafe Westminster was knocked down. We have nothing over here anymore. So it would be nice to see something done. And Amy, if it's possible, I would appreciate if you could send me, the city clerk has my email, but if you could send me an email with things that have been done since the year that you've been in our district so that I could share that with my neighborhood watch. Yeah. I'd appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
And, I want to address, Kim, you do report, Pam, I'm so sorry, Pam, do you report on the app as well, right?
Yeah.
When you see homelessness or trash, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, we do.
And they do come out, right?
They're great about coming out. It's just that it's just getting worse. I mean, we are having so many homeless, and they're taking over our parks now. I mean, we don't take the kids to the park anymore.
Right. Okay, can I ask Chief regarding the crime in District 1? Is it on the rise in any other 4 districts? Is that correct?
We have that the next meeting, so I mean, you know, this is public comment, so we respond to public comments instead of, you know, moving to the community. People, go ahead.
Yes, Mayor, I'm currently working on year-end stats, just waiting to get over that line of January 1st, and I would think I can have that to council, council meetings in February, and can deliver the year-end statistics.
Yes, I remember that we requested for you to have update us quarterly on this one. So you're ready for the next, if is that okay with you, Councilmember West? We'll have that update in January.
Yes, I think that'd be great. And then the last comment about the Motel 6. Pam, I know staff, Christine, mentioned to me that people have come to present the Motel 6 to buy it, but at the time the old council didn't approve of that. And I do see, you know, the many incidents, there's 2 so far in the last 5 years. So I think that's still good, but any death is a bad death, right? So we will look into that when there's any, you know, application to buy that motel. We'll be all over it. Okay, thank you.
Next.
Our next speaker is Deborah Mariscal.
Thank you, City Clerk, for addressing me as I requested. Deborah Mariscal, Westminster, California. A couple of things. I'm just kind of going off my heart because I haven't had time to prepare. Obviously, it's the holidays, everybody's business. I was not able to listen to the initial part of the meeting, so I apologize in advance. So our last meeting, we talked about the potential tax increase up to the voters. In my opinion, that should not have taken more than 30 minutes to decide, to allow the citizens of Westminster to make that decision. You may have your own viewpoints of how that should be, but we, as the residents, the people that shop here, the people that pay for your benefits and pay for your salaries, we are the ones that should be able to make that decision. That was a complete and total waste of time, in my opinion. It shouldn't have taken more than 30 minutes. If you had not missed, 2 of you, have you not missed the meeting before, they wouldn't have to go over that again. So there's absolutely no reason for that. I would like to congratulate the city manager and her staff for the nice tree lighting ceremony that took place last week. I did attend probably the first hour or so. One thing I would like to point out, which it's too late to do this year, we spend a lot of time doing things for the Asian community, for the Christian community. Do you know that we have a synagogue here in Westminster? Nothing has been done for the Jewish community, not one single thing. We could have lit a menorah here, we could have addressed the Jewish community, but nothing was done. Too late to do it now, we only have a couple more days of Hanukkah. Last but not least, as I walk or drive through Westminster, we have a boatload of empty lots, empty businesses, businesses that are leaving our city versus coming in. Y'all were voted in to try to help the financial stability of our city. That is your #1 or maybe #2 priority. Our police department does a great job trying to keep us safe. We need safety, but we need financial stability. Let's work on it.
Brief on the synagogue?
Yes. I suggest that we don't have to do every single one of them.
I know, I just want to, address their concerns. So Chief and I went to the synagogue regarding the bombing in Gaza. And we went there to support them. And also, not only that, our chief of police sent extra patrol over there during this time because we understand the conflict. So that's what we did, and thank you, Chief, for that. And I hope that helped your understanding that we are concerned and see things that's happening in our city. Now, regarding the 30 minutes to vote for a tax increase for the voters to decide, we did that, didn't we? So I think that's important that the council decided to give the people the voice to vote for themselves because we trust the voter in their decision.
Thank you very much. Next.
Our final speaker for the evening is Tim Hogan.
Final comment for the year. Public comment.
Thank you. It was a good meeting. It was very productive. Went very well. It was a great way to end the year. Kudos to you all. If I may, I have a few comments on the proclamation. I believe that much of that proclamation was copied from the one that the Congresswoman Steele and Congressman Correa put together. Hence, it has some problems. First and foremost, the Vietnamese heritage and freedom flag is red and yellow, not gold.
Yes.
Second, the Vietnamese service medal established by President Johnson in 1965 has no motto, to never forget. I mean, just think of it logically. Why would President Johnson have, why would he have gotten wistful for the past and pledged to never forget something that he was in the middle of? But in 1965, the war still had 10 more years to go. Nobody was thinking it was going to be, over. Nobody was thinking that it was going to be something that they would forget. So I think that, taking that out of it would probably be better. Finally, on July 11th, 1995, the Socialist Republic of Vietnam was officially recognized by the United States under President Bill Clinton. We have exchanged ambassadors, and we have consulates in both nations. A little bit of foreign relations 101. Our trade balance between us and Vietnam right now was $142 billion in 2022, of which $14 billion was exports, probably most likely food. There's no way that we're going to jeopardize $142 billion worth of trade. As Councilman Nguyen, actually then Vice Mayor Nguyen, said, no matter what our personal thoughts are and the recognition of Vietnam as official, and nothing we can say or do will change that. That includes the flag. So that's just my own personal thought on that. Finally, just as a kudos or as an addendum to the issue earlier, many of my I do work for about 40 different municipalities here in the 3 counties area, and many of those municipalities and districts do work with Johnson Public Affairs, as have I over the years in a support capacity, and I have never heard a complaint about them. They do an excellent job. With that, I wish you all a happy holiday, and may you have peace in your life. Thank you much.
We have no further speakers.
All right, thank you very much. Well, now we are moving into the comments from the City Council and agency members, including AB 1234 report. But before going to that, I would like to thank you, every one of you, to attend the meeting today, whether it's staff, PDs, or residents. We are here to do the city business, and we love to have your opinions. It's just that we need to be respect to each other. I understand as a public official, it's open up for public comments. But I guess I don't deserve to have people yelling, screaming at me, or accuse me for things that I don't do, or criticize me for the things that, it's just normal things. And I'm telling you, even though I appreciate that, yes, I listen to you, but I don't take it, okay? And I will be here to do the city business. Again, I appreciate for your opinions, but I will be here to defend for my council, if there is any defamation or anything that is not right that I know of, I will defend for them. So now I would like to open up for council comments, starting with Councilmember West.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I appreciate your comment. That means a lot to the council here that we work hard. It's funny that some of you guys, I don't think you understand, but the council, we pretty much work for free if you think about it. We get comped every 2 weeks. We get about 300 a month, 300 every 2 weeks. And it's like, we're serving you guys. And if you guys would just give us a chance to serve you until our term is done, and then you guys vote. We don't make any, that's for our gas money to drive around to different events to represent the city and bring business into the city. So for that alone, I hope you guys have respect for us in a way we don't get paid for anything. And then another thing, since we're heading into Christmas, on a light note, I want to say thank you so much for staff, for all you do closing out the year with a bang, like I said again. And you guys did phenomenal with everything. You give your best, and I really appreciate that. And I don't expect any less. And you guys have given your best for the city, for your staff as well. And I appreciate each one of you guys, city manager, to the department head, and our law enforcement and firefighters as well. So thank you. And then also going to the season, I really want to wish all of you guys who are hearing me tonight that you feel blessed as well into entering into this Christmas season, finding the hope and the miracle of Christmas that you find in your heart, and that you find peace, you find joy, you find hope. Because I know a lot of people are suffering during this time, especially our veterans. I know that depression is on the rise, suicidal is on the rise as well, and my heart goes out to them. But I want you to know that you're not alone. If you need to talk to someone, please call your friends, your loved one, and if you see sign of suicidal or depression, please reach out to a friend. It's very important to say, hey, be honest with them. Hey, it seems like you're acting a little different. Can I help you? Can you share with me? I'll be here for you. And I think that's what we need to do more as a community, to look out for each other in the midst of all the hardship that we're facing with our economy and the state we live in. But I ask that God will bless you guys, your family, in this 2023, and I look forward to serving you in 2024. God bless you, and God bless California, and God bless Westminster. Thank you.
Councilmember Menza.
Thank you, Mayor. Just keep this light. Need to change the mood. Just want to thank staff again for the tree lighting ceremony we had. Bigger attendance that we had the last couple of years, which it seems like the more and more that we have the team that we have in place, all our leadership across each department, and we just keep moving the bar higher and higher, and that's awesome. And because our community is the one that's benefiting it, and they're seeing, and I see the excitement in the community's eyes when they attend all these events that our staff has been putting together. You can see it in the tree lighting ceremony that was bigger than the last couple of years. The Santa on the Go events that our staff's putting together keeps growing and growing. That's awesome to see. So thank you, staff, for that drive that you have. Really good time at an employee breakfast we had yesterday. It was very loose, and everybody was having a good time just being amongst each other, and all you can see that in all the different tables. Everybody's there, a lot of conversation, having a really good time. So I really enjoyed being there. Had a really good time. Councilmember Ho was a blast to be around. Thank you. She was really actually got my, I don't want to get into that. So lastly, I just want to wish everybody, slow down. This is the time of the year that I always feel we have a very diverse community with different belief systems, different religions, and to me, I personally see this time as a time for us to slow down and savor the little moments that we can spend with our loved ones and friends, just slow down and savor and get together with our families and just have conversations that we don't have. Sometimes our life, we're busy, and that's what it is for me, just to slow down and see family that I haven't seen in a while. So I hope that everybody out there has a real nice holiday. Spend with your loved ones. Thank you for being part of our community. I just want to enjoy your time with your families. Thank you, staff. I hope that each and every one of you get to have some time off and spend with your families over this holiday. And I really appreciate everything that you do. And I'm glad that we're able to get through these some of these big items, like some of the ones we finished today with our MOUs with our workers here in the city. I'm glad that we were able to get to that point, and hopefully we have better things to come in the next couple of years. So thank you all.
Thank you, Councilmember Manzo. Next is Councilmember Nguyen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to make it quick since it's almost 11 at night. Okay. The holiday season is around the corner. I just want to thank you, our PD that has been working really hard to keep our city safe, and I am very confident on our PD also. They're going to keep the city safe this holiday season, and with that, happy holiday and Merry Christmas.
Vice Mayor Hall.
Thank you. So I don't know who it was that showed up at the breakfast the other day, but I can tell you I was home sleeping. So it was Miss Claus, I heard, and I can tell you that I'm not a morning person, and so I finally figured out that I got up at around 5 o'clock that morning. I'm not a morning person, but I got up at 5, so I got about 3 hours of sleep, so to get ready for this exciting breakfast. And I think I must have had like 20 shots, not vodka, guys. A coffee, espresso, and so then that must have been that. I figured out that was the reason why. And but I had a blast. I really, felt really comfortable with. I guess that's. So I had a lot of fun, and I feel the warmth, the love, and I feel that we are family. So I did have a great time. I really did, and it really showed in all the pictures that people sent me. And I apologize to Lisa, right, Councilmember Mansell. So but I was expecting a text from her. But anyway, I just want to say that thank you, staff, for all your work throughout the year. And as we end the year, I just want to wish you and your family a lot of happiness and joy, and during this holiday season, and be safe. I will see you in 2025. Thank you so much.
Wow.
2024. I just skipped 2024, right? Yeah. 2024. Okay, so yeah. And thank you very much. I want to say to all that voted for me as vice mayor, I will do my very best. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, it's my turn. I said that already, I will say it again. Once again, I'm looking at you, and from the bottom of my heart, I sincerely thank you for caring for the city. And I want to speak on behalf of the council. We are all here doing the work for the city. I don't care whether you agree or disagree. You know that we've been here starting at 4 o'clock, continuously until now. And being here at 4 o'clock to start, we have to be ready at 3. For myself, I tell you, for the last 5 years, I don't do anything for Wednesday. I reserve the whole day for Wednesday when we have the meeting, to prepare for the meeting. Look at this. This much of the documents that we have to go through. So, please, it's my turn. So, you have to understand, for us, we are doing our best for the city. All I ask is be understanding. We are listening to you. So don't come up with, kind of frustration and then trying to accuse us for things that we don't do. I am telling you, I am not going to take it, and I'm not going to.
They resign.
So, at this point here, again, I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for taking the time and staying to this minute. I want to thank staff for doing the work, all the work that you did, for your dedication. I know that for the last several months, you've been working really hard. You've been doing a good work for the city, and we started out this meeting today with a spirit, with a good spirit, and I would like to have our meeting going that way so that we can all working with each other to improve the city, for the betterment of the city. I want to thank staff, from city manager to ACM, to all PDs and to all directors and all staff of the city. And I want to before I congratulate Council Member, Vice Mayor Ho, I would like to take this moment to thank Council Member Nguyen. He was stepping in to do my job for the last 2 meetings that I wasn't here. And I appreciate for his time. He did his best to conduct the meeting, to get the meeting going. And I appreciate for your time. I appreciate for the dedication that your effort that you dedicated for the council, for the city. Even though that he is doing a good job, if he continues to be in this role, I can assure you he can do the better job. He was given a job at the last minute, but he can do the job well. And if we continue to give him the role and responsibility, I can tell you that he can perform his duties. But he understands that we work among ourselves, and having another person to take that role of vice mayor. He is not willing to give up that position to another council, so that we can rotate around and make the city better. I appreciate for his dedication. I appreciate for his voluntarily. An appointment for another person in the vice mayor position. So again, I want to thank you for what you did for as a vice mayor for the last year. So thank you again for that.
Thank you very much.
Before I go next, I would like to congratulate to Vice Mayor Ho. I know that there are works in front of us. I'd love to have a chance to work with you as a mayor and a vice mayor so that we can move the city forward.
Thank you, Mayor.
So with that, I would like to say happy holidays to each and every one of you. And I would like to adjourn this meeting, and the next regular meeting it will be held on Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Meeting adjourned.
And thank you for bankrupting our city.